It's your local government at work. Live from City Hall in downtown Warren, this is the Warren City Council meeting on SalineRiverChronicle.com.
Amen.
Remain standing, I lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Madam Clerk, if you call the roll.
Alderman Gordon. Here. Alderman Tom.
Present.
Alderman Reed.
Here.
Alderman Mosley.
Here.
Alderman Henderson.
Here.
And Alderman Garrett.
Here.
Note that all are present. You have a copy of the minutes that you received in your packet. Need a motion for their approval.
I move that the minutes for August 13th be approved as mailed. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none.
I thought the last unfinished business I discussed something about I was not aware of the occurrence of whatever happened over the Hill Church. I didn't know if that was in there, but it just wasn't something that could leave.
Say that again. I didn't hear.
I didn't understand.
I think in the unfinished business I mentioned that I did not understand. I wasn't aware of what occurred at Union Hill Church. I wasn't aware of it. I mean, I didn't know if that was significant more than minutes or what. But then the mayor stated that he would take action on doing a letter. So I didn't see it in there.
Well, we don't put statements normally like that in the minutes when the council person states they're unaware of something. Or
Okay, well, I mean,
we don't cover. We usually cover just action items. If there's
Okay,
been a
okay,
motion
good.
or
Okay, I just.
any other discussion. All those in favor of approval of the minutes as received by the council, raise your hand. I see 6-4, none against. Madam Clerk, you're recognized.
Okay. The balance of the general fund on August the 31st was $285,413.25. Year-to-date revenues, $1,703,504.30. Expenditures by department, administrative, $162,052.29. Law enforcement, $672,369.32. Fire, $159,204.49. Sanitation, $364,282.49. Building codes, $29,997.04. District Court, $52,095.27. The municipal building, $19,126.31. Recreation, $106,435.18. Cultural Center, $31,004.68. The Armory, $5,984.49. Other expenditures, $89,942.68. And the expenditures for the year, $1,692,494.24. And we have an increase for the year of $11,010.06. The balance of the street fund on August 31st was $199,399.52. Year-to-date revenues, $213,423.46. Year-to-date expenditures, $234,651.40. And that's a decrease for the year of $21,227.94. In the other accounts on August 31st, we had a balance of $2,028,546.91. Year-to-date revenue, $2,416,834.64. And expenditures, $2,753,957.77. And that's a decrease for the year of $337,000. $123.13. And you should also have a copy of the city treasurer's report for the month of August.
Need a motion for approval of financial statements.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor raise your hand. C641 again. Madam Clerk, you're recognized.
In the city sales and use tax in August, we received $68,530.58. And we have a year's total of $500,106.81. And we're still down approximately $4,200 from the same period last year. And I've also attached to your list the expenditures for the city sales and use tax and sales tax economic development, just for your information. In county sales and use tax, we received $44,430.48 in August. Year-to-date total, $337,824.53, and we're up approximately $1,075. You should have a new report for July and August.
This time, I'd like to recognize Alderman Henderson. She has a report on the planning committee of the municipal league.
Thank you, Mayor. I was honored to be selected to serve on the executive committee for another year. And we had our planning meeting on August the 16th. And I thought that I would just make copies of all of the minutes for you to see and other items of interest that I thought would be good for you to have. The first page is just the agenda from the meeting, all of the items that were actually covered on that day. And I know that some always ask me the question as to when our winter conference is scheduled, and I have that information scheduled, as well as the information relating to the National League of Cities. But our winter conference is going to be January the 16th through the 18th. And of course, you know that the winter conference is always in Little Rock, and then the summer one is in Hot Springs. And the rationale for that is so that the legislators can be invited for the opening night session of the convention. And I know some of you have asked that when I make my reservation, if I'll go ahead and schedule yours, and I have already made note of that as well. The second part that I would like to share is we had mentioned in several meetings that we have had the proposed constitutional amendment number 1. And there was a fact sheet that included, and I didn't copy every county for you, but should this pass, if you'll just look on that next page, you will see what the turnback money would be for Bradley County. And on that same page that I was copying, Calhoun County's was listed. I found out also at the meeting, and I think Mrs. Fullerton probably picked up on it at the convention, that our highway commissioners are now at large rather than by geographical areas, and you'll probably see some difference as it relates highway projects. The next item in your packet of information that I found to be interesting is through the cooperative purchasing system. The executive board did approve to allow them to be one of the entities that cities, if they elected to do so, could order items, could participate in a number of areas. It's a one-page form that you fill out. There's nothing financial from the city, but it just gives you more buying power. And that information is there. And the last part of it is just minutes from the executive meeting and other advisory committees, which more or less give you an overall view of what actually happened in those sessions. And that's all I have that I wanted to share. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, let's see, Edith Strong's recommended.
Good evening to each of you,
Good evening.
to our mayor, and to our council members. In respect to my pastor that's here, I'm before you this evening, and I want to thank you, Mayor Martin, for talking to Andre and myself. And I think he did feel that I'm going to leave the other up to my pastor to speak about. But really what I'm before you, another thing that has been on my mind and on my heart for a long time, and I'm glad the chief is here, Chief Pete. I really feel in our community, I would like to see us get a public setting together somewhere in the center of the community to meet with you and your assistant chief, with the mayor, and our city council members, so we can let our community know or define the duties of our elected officials, especially to our communities. And I would like to see that maybe somehow, some way, we can form a community relationship committee with our police department. Because see, a lot of times, a lot of people think our police are our enemies. But we have to realize, we need to know that we're going to have some hot-headed police everywhere we go. Then we're going to have some that's for the community and willing to work with the community. And I think we need to be in a setting sometime where the public can come together, and especially a lot of our young people can ask questions. And they can get to know and form a relationship with the police officers. And with our city council members, a lot of our people in our community don't even know who represent them. They living in the community and don't know who represent them, who they can go to, who they can ask questions, And I say sometime if we in a public forum, we can find out what our 5-year plans are for our community as far as jobs is concerned for our young people, so they can have work. And I have people calling me, young men calling me a lot of times. They are behind in their child support, and they license have been suspended. They don't have no way of paying, so they get picked up for back child support. And it should be some way, somehow, that they know who to go to and get a permit to drive to work. And I'm not saying go out party, but being able to get to a job in the event they get a job. And this is just some concerns I have. I've worked in the community mostly all my adult life. And my concern is about young people's and about old people's. I feel I'm getting there now. I'm already there. So I am concerned about the welfare and protection. And if we can't look to our police department, I'm back and forth about things that I feel for protection. And we're going to get some of them come out with a hostile attitude. That's not what they're hired for. They're to protect us. And I think they need to know that they are getting paid by our tax dollars. I hit the clock 33 years. And I don't mind my money going for a good cause. But I don't want it to be in the community where our police officers is coming up with a hostile attitude with guns on. They're there to protect us. And I think if we can get in a forum, I do have Monday nights at the housing authorities open. So sometime, we get together. Been talking to some people about forming a committee so we can get this done. We can get in a public setting, and these people in the community can ask questions about to their city council members who represent them. They don't know. A lot of time they're called and they live certain areas, and I will try to explain to her. I know Miss Fulton is on my area, and she know if I need to know anything, I'll come ask her. And I'm not afraid to do that. If I need anything from this city, I'll go ask Mayor Brown. I'll go ask Mr. Adams if some gravel need to be somewhere. But and I'll call Mr. Bird on the phone. I'm not afraid. These people represent us. And all they can say is yay or nay, or give me some information. Jonathan know I'll call her. I sure will. And then Jewel know I worry him to death.
You see my wife here.
So I sure do. But you know, this is how I live. And I don't live in fear. This is the way I was brought up. And if you don't stand for the right thing in life, you'll fall for anything. And I always fear. And my children always say, Mama, aren't you afraid? I said, no, God got my back. I don't have to worry about people. Because my word tells me no weapon formed against me gonna prosper. And I stand on that. So I'm just before you to say that this evening, and I thank you all for listening to me. And I think the pastor will have his say, if you allow him, concerning what happened over Union Hill. I had my say the last time, and I still stand on that. I feel what I feel. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Randy know I'll call him.
There's no one else signed in, but I see Reverend Cox here. Did you want to speak now, or there's another time on the agenda you can? It doesn't now.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is Henry Cox with Union Hill Church.
Council. First of all, I'm here just to speak on the day what something happened at the church. A day in question that I was not present, and it was brought that we had an officer to come to the church and to come up into the church as we were having a viewing for a family, and that officer came into the church and someone made an arrest, which we felt that was out of order. We felt that it could have been done more in a more respectful way, because for the family as well as the church. And there's other things that's going on about this, but I'm not going to get into all that. My concern is that it was brought to the church that there was going to be a letter sent to the church for an apology. That's been over a month ago, and we haven't received that letter. And I would just like so we could get that, to get it back to the church and let them know that apology from the city was made.
I wrote that letter to the family. I wrote the letter to the family, and I apologize to the church for not carbon and copying you. But in it, I did offer an apology on behalf of the city. But I will, Henry, I'll get you a copy of it. It was meant for both you and the church, so you can lay the blame at my feet for thinking I had covered that, because I told, I think some of the council members privately I had done that. So you can just look at me and blame me for not getting it out.
Well, the only thing is that's fine, just as long as we get the letter, and then just make sure that something like that shouldn't happen anymore. I mean, because there's ways to do things, especially in a city like that. That was very embarrassing, you know, especially to the family and to our church, you know, because I just feel like that it should have been more respect paid, at least toward the family in a situation like that. And I just ask that maybe that not happen anymore, because I think there was other ways they could have obtained the person they was after. So we just pray that happens no more, and we will look for that letter.
All right.
You'll see me back.
You like it hand delivered tomorrow?
That'll be fine.
right, under mayor's report, you had the economic development report from DEC, DE.
I thought it was BCIDC.
They changed the name.
Bradley County Economic Development Corporation.
Not industrial
They're
development.
not industrial anymore. That's what's on the letter that I received.
No, they ain't got all their headings, but it's on your financial statement.
Envelopes.
On the envelope.
They still using
They
the old
still
envelopes.
using the old on the envelope.
Yeah.
You say print off a million thing, you still point.
And you also have a resolution for a fire truck, which we're gonna delay till the fire committee meets. And you have a commission reappointment, Steve Rand, the Board of Electrical Examiners, he is a licensed electrician.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. Motion by Zach and a second by Dorothy. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor raise your hand. I see 6, 4, none against. Under police chief, we have his monthly report. And you have Alderman Fulton is recognized.
The police committee did not meet, and there was no reasons.
Any questions for the police chief from the council? Okay, thank you, sir. Under the fire chief, you have,
Could I have a question? Right quick, just
sure,
kind of jogging.
Alderman Tolfree is recognized.
Yeah, kind of jogging my mind a little bit. I just kind of getting old. Chief, since we never fill all the slots that we have for our officers, and we kind of have that money kind of doing it, I don't know if it's kind of counted in the budget or not, for inspiration's sake, or, you know, kind of get the officers. I noticed with our patrolmen, we go no higher than the sergeant. Is there some way that we could maybe start at the top, maybe with Officer Hilder, to kind of to bump him up a little bit, and then the next one behind him, and then kind of create another slot for patrolman to lieutenant to kind of give an incentive?
There's the lieutenant slot was made after I came.
Okay.
That slot used to not exist, or at least it was never filled. We have corporal slots, and we have patrolman slots, and then we have sergeant slots. And all the slots that are allotted with the present positions, with the exception of 2 patrolmen, has been filled. And I hope as soon as we can get a civil service meeting called to fill additional slot with a certified officer, that will leave us with 1 slot. But as far as adding any type of rank, that would have to be handled through the mayor, I assume, or there's no other rank structure set up at the present time.
Yeah, you know, I just, in my past practice, you know, you always try to give people an incentive, you know, for patrolmen, just see, well, I can only go as far as this. And then I noticed on sometimes with Officer Hilder, he's kind of been here for quite some time, to get him more responsibility, maybe to step in and your stead if you were out or something like that. And it's always, hands-on seem like they're always better than not just to.
Well, that was the reason for that position,
Okay.
was to be, well, basically, even as CID sergeant, he was second man in the department whenever I was out or there, one, but at the same time, that's the reason he was, the lieutenant slot was filled, because of his time with the city, so.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Do we have enough members on the Civil Service Commission?
Currently, yes.
Okay. Do we ever find out how that rotates as far as the chairman?
Every 6, the chairman is,
Because it's kind of fruitless to see, you have to wait on a chairman to meet, you know, I mean, I think we need to have it where the chairman is not available, then the meeting should go on. You still have an opening to fill. Okay, move on. Go ahead. Thank you.
at this time, what we're waiting on is trying to get everybody's schedule together. I've been trying to get a meeting together, tried for this week, I scheduled for next Monday, and we have one member that's incapacitated, as you're aware. Hadn't really figured out what to do about that. He's still on the commission. That member's still on the commission, and until they resign, they're an active member of the commission. So, in order to get enough members there, we try to make it where we have the remaining folks on the commission able to attend. So I try to make it where all of them can attend. So that's what we're waiting on this time. Right now it's scheduled for the 17th.
Okay.
Chief Evers, you're recognized, and we have fire committee, we have Alderman Reed.
Yes, the fire committee did meet at 5 o'clock this afternoon, and what we're looking at is, I believe we talked about it a little bit last time, about a fire rescue truck. You should have some pictures in your packet, what the truck would look like. This would be a very efficient use of the fire department to be able to carry all their different types of equipment that they have for rescue operations. And Mayor, I'd like for you at this time to explain the financials. This is based upon a USDA grant. Hopefully getting that grant, and if we do, what would...
All right, here's the situation. The truck that's you see in the picture is $116,000 approximately. Depends on, we obviously we go out for bid, so it can be in that, anywhere in that range. The USDA has offered $50,000 straight up cash, no percentage match, $50,000. This is a truck that the fire department met and designed and figured out the specs on, and then the fire committees agreed with it. The balance of the money, $66,000, will have to come from the city. We intend to take that from our share of 833 insurance turnback funds. We've been getting about $30,000 a year, and that's how you paid for your share of the last pumper truck. However, that number looks like it's going to decrease for this next year, but we'll still be able to make a payment on. We'll finance this truck, this $66,000 over a 5-year period, and should be able to make the payment without any trouble out of 833. But as always, if 833 money goes away, we'll take it out of economic. We'll take it out of the city's share of sales tax revenue.
Why is it going down?
I wish you hadn't asked that. It's decided on politically. The mayors of the 3 cities and the county judge meet and decide on how the money's to be distributed. And depends on what that committee comes up with. In the past, it's been distributed on population.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was based upon population.
And you're correct. Some counties, it's done a million different ways, or 75 different ways in the state of Arkansas. There's 75 counties. For instance, Drew County divides the money equally among all fire departments located within the county, which gives them whatever, $6,000 to $7,000 apiece. My position is that's really unfair to the taxpayers and the ratepayers in the city of Warren, because that's where all the wealth of property is in the city limits and within the immediate band, a 5-mile radius right around Warren, which would cover Bradley County Rural Fire Department. So those discussions are ongoing, and we haven't met yet to fight it out. So we'll see.
Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you. Did I answer?
Yeah, that did, unless some of the other council members have questions about that part of it.
For as long as I can remember, since I've been here, it has been based upon the population. I can't comprehend otherwise.
Well, that's the equal way to do it.
That is the way it's been done for a long time.
I inherited
Even
that
before I
way, so-
came on board, it was done.
All right, came on.
Okay. Was it like that when you were here, Jimmy and Zach? I think you all. Well, I
Yeah,
hope
it's
you, I hope
a
you send your.
constitutional, and you can't, see, your legislature decided that how it was set up. Man, I can't remember the act, but if you try to attempt to change it, then you've got all the rural fire departments getting involved, and then all the cities of the second class getting involved, and then the counties. And I don't think you'll get a legislature to even think about introducing any kind of bill to make it where it's the agenda's set out different than the way it is now. Marty,
Okay. Any other questions?
hurry up, save me.
Anybody got it? Recommendation of the committee, fire committee, is that we allow the administration to go out to bid for the truck based when the USDA when they say we can.
That's a committee motion, so we don't need a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your hand. I see 6 for, none against. Alderman Reap is recognized. Well, I guess I'll do it. Excuse me. You're not recognized. Still under your committee. We have a resolution, and with council's permission, I'll read it this time, and then we can say yea or nay. It's resolution A571. A resolution by the City Council of Warren, Arkansas, authorizing and providing for the acceptance of a grant for the purpose of providing a portion of the cost of purchasing a fire rescue truck and accessories for the Warren Fire Department to serve an area lawfully within its jurisdiction to serve. Whereas it is necessary for the City of Warren to raise a portion of the cost of such undertaking by applying for grant assistance, and whereas the City intends to obtain assistance from the United States Department of Agriculture, herein called the government, acting under the provisions of the Consolidated Farm and Rural Development Act, 7 U.S.C. 1921, and continuing, in the planning, financing, and supervision of such undertaking by the city. Now, therefore, in consideration of the premises, this city hereby resolves to accept a grant, if approved and funded by the government, in an amount not to exceed $50,000, under the terms offered by the government, that the mayor of the city is hereby authorized and empowered to take all action necessary or appropriate in the execution of all written instruments as may be required in regard to or as evidence of such grant, and to operate the vehicle under the terms offered in said grant agreements. Adopted this 10th day of September 2012 and caused to be executed by the officers below in duplicate. We need a motion to approve resolution A571.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution A571. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor raise your hand. I see 6 yeas. Thank you very much. Anything else?
That's all.
Alderman Reed.
That's all.
Thank you, sir. Sanitation manager recognized Mike May. We have his monthly report. Any questions for the sanitation manager? I'll recognize Alderman Mosley at this time.
Thank you, Mayor. The sanitation committee met at 5 on Tuesday, August 28th, to discuss the request for garbage picked up by residents actually at the end of Newton Drive. So after discussion, there was a motion by Alderman Henderson and seconded by Alderman Burks, which resulted in a unanimous committee unanimous vote, that we require the property owners to give the city an easement because the garbage truck has to go on private property to turn around. So that is so moved, that's the committee's recommendation to the city, that they require the residents to provide.
We would ask the residents to give them an easement.
The owners,
The owners to give an
Yeah.
easement,
Owners,
not
yeah.
required. They don't have to do it if they don't want to.
it's their option.
Yes. Give them the option to do it, but we're not gonna go any further until they provide us.
We ask them
with
for an easement in order for
Right.
them to make a turnaround.
And are we given any time frames? I don't think we talked about time frames in our meeting, but I'll second your motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second, so now we can discuss it, and I think the gist of the motion is that before we will go on the property, they'll be required to give us an easement. That's where the word required came in.
That's where
It
we're,
has to be required.
Well, I think they should give us an easement before we would get on their property.
Yeah,
I think that was what y'all meant, and if you didn't, I
Asking
need
for-
to know.
for them to give permission, which is the easement, to go on the property, for the truck to go on the
Right.
property.
I just don't like the word required when you're talking about it, but that's what it takes.
Well, no, we
Get it,
word
let's get it.
This,
Let's go, that's fine.
Require or ask them,
Yes.
but due to liability reasons, before we put the city equipment on private property, we need to
Sure.
be. That's it.
everybody understand? Okay. Any more discussion?
Nothing other than, if the motion passed, maybe the administration would, mention, some time frames if they immediately move forward or what have you. Then the sooner they can get their garbage picked up.
I've offered the services of the city attorney to draft the easement. We'll need a property description and those kind of things before we can do that. But I've asked, then the city will provide the legal work, so they're not going to be out of expense on that.
Call for the vote.
Question's been called. All those in favor of the motion? I see 6-4, none against. Thank you very much. Building official, Mike Mays recognized with monthly report. Excuse me, Alderman Mosley, do you have anything else?
Well, we did amend the agenda and discuss a issue of moving the cardboard and newspaper collection point from, I'll say next door to the fire station, to back on Chestnut Street to the slab where the city shop is. And we did not take a vote, just a general opinion of the committee was that should be an administrative decision.
The purpose for the administration bringing that up is the fact that it's kind of dangerous when people pull in, they back out into a major street. Behind us, we have the old street shop lot that's a big lot, and they can get in and turn around, and we can set this facility up. And then if we ever get into any other recycling, like plastic or that kind of thing, that'll be a collection point for plastic also. So that's it's a long-term thought process. Plus, I think the fire department would get the parking off the apron where the fire trucks are. They end up parking 2 vehicles there. And so this would move them up the hill. And so that was my thinking on it. But y'all did not have any kind of motion or activity on that.
No, the thing that was mentioned is that if that was administrative, that you have a
And
supervisor that's in charge of it, let him handle it.
Handle it, Roy.
Well, that's my intent. I just didn't want
There's
to.
no sense, Yeah, we used to tell me, said, okay, you got me in charge, deal with it.
There you go.
And do you think that you would have as much traffic moving it than what you have here? And I'm talking about input into the container.
I hope so. I think people will find it won't be as visible. That is one problem that's been bothering me some, but I still think it's a practical thing to do just because of the ease of getting in and out.
But I personally like the visibility there, and I see a number of people, stopping there. I did not realize that there was a problem with traffic there, because I don't see more than one vehicle there at one time.
It's the backing out and the activity around the entrance to where the fire or emergency vehicles are.
Mayor,
Sir.
you and I discussed this afternoon about a little bit and talking about if it was moved, that would be advisable to have a newspaper article, I don't want to call it
An
article,
educational piece.
that it has been moved, and in the same write-up, worded, along with the moving a location, worded to encourage the people of Warren to use this cardboard, to give their cardboard to the city. Somewhere down the line, that could help, that the newspaper could help where we don't have to raise their garbage pickup rates and things like that. And I just see, the reason I'm saying encouraging people to utilize it wherever it sits. Of course, we want them to get in a convenient place. But in the last month, 2 places I've seen cardboard within 2 blocks of this in a dumpster that was running over cardboard. And I know the business where it was sitting didn't put the cardboard in there. And another place there was cardboard, but I was actually by this dumpster back here. Now, why don't people go a block or 2 blocks and put it in this collection point? So it's revenue to the city, and they're going to get rid of it. So.
And it really makes a difference, and it would be a good idea if maybe we could have an editorial encouraging people to do that, because it really, truly does make a big difference in our finances.
I just have one concern about the safety accident. Is that well lit area? Because a lot of the people that drop those off are ladies, and I just wonder.
And they're seniors, is what I've seen.
Is it lit?
I don't think there's any lights back there.
It's not.
Ladies and
Not
gentlemen, we're
dark
sitting here.
at night, it's
Well, I just come through. I thought maybe it was out sometime when I'm riding
I
around.
think for the sake of time, you have a manager here. I think he should
Hell,
be able to
Leroy.
work out the business and move on. I don't.
He's willing.
Well, we just move on to something else.
All right.
Because that's what a manager is for the department, I think. And I don't mean to be facetious about it, but that's what I was taught, and the way they always tell me to do it.
Get her done.
Get it done.
But I don't think we need to hastily move forward, because if things go down, decline, then I think that we should also
But that's still his
Yeah,
duty, man.
well, yeah, you'll be bringing the reports back to us, but that's money coming will come out of your department.
Well, it's not my department that wants it moved.
No, I'm talking about the decline in what Jimmy was saying on cardboard. If we
On the
move-
cardboard.
Yeah.
We do periodically when we find large areas of pasteboard around, we try to identify where they come from. If it's a business, we go to them and talk with them and discuss. And if they've got a large enough volume, we'll put a dog pen by their business where they can store the pasteboard, keep it from blowing around until we can get to it, and we pick it up usually twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. But so we try to do that. We try to get every
That's
pasteboard we can. Yes, ma'am.
Like usually when your husband does the giveaway to commodity, we'll call up there and tell them, and they'll
We'll send somebody out and
get
get
it.
it done.
Just
Any
worry.
questions pertaining to the building report? Thank you, sir. Street foreman is recognized.
Oh, wait, let me ask another question before you leave, sir. Okay?
Yes, sir.
On the cleanup on St. James, down by Mr. Crosby in that area, who owns that property? Because, again, you have piers and everything else in that area.
Which lot?
St. James going west, it's down, you pass,
Is it before you hit rock?
you pass
It's on the side.
George Crosby,
Yeah.
down behind
Bel Air.
Bel Air.
Oh, you're talking about on the left?
On
Is
the
that
left.
going to North Wright Street? Is at the end of that?
It's
Is that
up-
St. James that goes down
Watson.
the side?
Watson, you cross Watson and it's St. James, come on back down that, yeah. I'm just saying, folks, and we can sit here and talk about the garbage, the cardboard and everything else, but again, we have a problem all over your city where your city is growing up, and that concerns me. And again, you're not gonna get nobody that's gonna come here and build a house and do anything. around where it looked like a third world country. And that concerns me because you ain't gonna get the growth. And we sat and pander over something, I don't understand it, but move on. I mean, we need to clean areas, and I just don't understand it. I get very bewildered just saying you know, see growed up lots, what are we gonna do? Move on. And then you come back. But growing up as a child here all over, it used to be so nice. And to see it now, it's sad. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Street foreman's recognized. Come on up, Tony.
Thank you.
Call it Thursday.
Thank you.
We poured a bunch of streets up this month, a bunch of bush hogging, started back bush hogging again today. We got all of them, and the Southern Mill and West Pine and all that today. We'll be moving on into Watson, all over there tomorrow, Wright Street, all that in there tomorrow. Picked up a lot of limbs, moved a lot of stuff, had that little wind, storm getting through and all. So we're lucky on that. It could have been a lot worse.
Any question for the street foreman? Alderman Burks, you recognized?
The only thing I got to say again is we have just a meager amount of money to spend on the streets, and then when we let heavy log trucks and everything else get on these streets and tear them up, we got a problem. But yet still we let it go.
Have you got any legislation to bring forward, sir?
The only thing I'm saying is that it should be somehow that 80,000 pounds is not should be on side streets.
You have one ordinance that I could find that you guys passed in the year 2000, and it dealt with parking those trucks on city streets. There is no ordinance that y'all have adopted preventing them from driving on any other city streets. If y'all want to pass an ordinance, we'll certainly entertain, I'm sure the council will entertain legislation. Alderman Burks.
Well, I'm just saying, you're defeating the purpose. You spend $180,000 to fix a few streets, and then all of a sudden you put these 80,000 pounds back and forth over, and not gonna hold up.
Well, why don't we refer this to the street committee and let them investigate passing an ordinance that would keep them off the street?
There are ways you can do it. You can limit it, as I understand it, without violating other people's constitutional rights. You can limit them from driving on on city streets other than the truck routes, and you can actually pass an ordinance saying no, you can't even be on a city street.
But you say that upset someone, so.
Well, no, I mean that's up to
That's
you.
up to, you know.
That's up to the city council.
I'm just saying, if you want to leave it like it is.
I refer that to the street committee.
Was that your motion? I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to let the street committee deal with that issue and research it. I will get them the proper the ordinances that are available and help in any way I can. So, all those in favor of the street committee handling that, raise your hand. I see 5-4. All those against it? All those abstaining? 1. Okay.
Could I have just do an injection on something else on this, man?
Yes, sir.
On the cleanup of the ditches. You know, on the side of the highways, you see certain signage where certain groups adopt to clean up that area of the highway. Could we go to some kind of plan like the ones at Old Fines to let them adopt certain streets in the city so they can go on their own and just kind of
clean them up?
Yeah, clean them up.
Works for me.
You say go on there?
Yeah.
Give Tommy a Saturday cruise.
We used to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to on Saturday.
Get somebody
to have 15 people out there. We got a lot of stuff done, For some reason, I can't get the old fine workers out no more. When they come work a half a day, you never see them no more. And they'll tell me, you're supposed to work 30 days. They work a half a day and they flew the coop, so you don't ever see them no more. You can't get nobody to put them back out there with me.
Well, I just, in reference to Sister Edith's concerns about them and they don't have jobs and things, and get something constructed for us and them. I just
That'd
thought
be
that.
good.
Alderman Tolfree, you're recognized on Community and Economic Development.
Nothing this time, Mayor.
Thank you. Ways and Means, Alderman Henderson is recognized.
Yes, the Ways and Means Committee met on September the 6th at 5 here in the room. Prayer was given by Alderman Fullerton, and the item listed on our agenda was the budget review, and this was a 7-month review as listed on your agenda. Each of you should have in your packet of information the 7-month budget review, and I will just highlight various categories for you. In the general fund, January 1, 2012, cash on hands, all accounts, $274,403.19. July 31st, 2012, $289,394.54. When you go down under year-to-date comparison to the budget for the 7-month period, to the left, the first line item is that of the actual. The second is the 7-month budget variance, and then the percentages. When we look at the revenue, you will note that the percentage is a plus 5.4, which means that it is up by $9,000 approximately. The expenditures a plus 5%, and that gives you a comparison of the expenditures over the revenues. When you go down under the expenditures by department, looking at the law enforcement, as you are aware, there's been a renovation project there, plus 4.1%, and some of the items that was purchased consisted of, when I say new furniture, it really wasn't new furniture, but it's new furniture to the employees of the police department. The overtime that we receive on a quarterly basis, thanks to Jeannie, and the phone system of $6,000. We really, I guess, didn't comprehend the fact that the phone system was going to have to be revamped, but it was, so that was included in that line item. Looking at the sanitation, if you'll recall, the landfill closing, and also you'll remember that 1-ton truck that was purchased. Looking on down to the recreation, and we know that we have the baseball complex, and that budget under recreation, as it relates, the concession stand was an annualized budget, and that's why you see the 29.4%. But everything will kind of balance itself out in the next financial report that you will receive from us. Under other, the 38.7% plus, if you'll recall, we do the municipal league dues, which is $20,000 a year. The airport, that piece of it will be reimbursed to us with matching funds or other funds that will be coming in. And again, all of that will catch up, or if you will, balance itself out by the next time, by the end of the year, and probably by the next time that you get an update from this committee. Turning to the next page, the 7-month budget review under street, you will see the cash on hand, January 1, 2012, $212,627. July 31st through 2012, $203,543. All of this is pretty much self-explanatory. We all know about the gasoline turnback and looking at the actual equipment, and we know that we have not spent a whole lot of money on equipment as it relates to street department, so therefore you have to do a lot of repairs. It's just like having an old vehicle, something is always going wrong. Sometimes it's best to go ahead and just get another one. But that percentage is 95.5%. If you'll turn with me, please, to the next page. Under other accounts, January 1, 2012, current assets, $2,365,670. July 31st, $2,057,847, which gives a variance of $307,823. Now, when we look under assets, going down to the city sales tax, economic development, that is where the intermobile, the $30,000 came out of. Going down to the city sales and use tax, the variance of a minus $257,313. Remember, I mentioned the remodeling of the emergency center. That was actually done. And then the next line item is the city sales tax economic development, which has a variance of a plus $59,187. Looking down, there was emergency service matching grant funds for the actual emergency service, but if you'll look at that line item, you'll see with the variances as to where we are. Turning with me to the next page is the 6-month overtime comparison, and if you'll remember, again, on a quarterly basis, we see who actually received the overtime by individual and by departments. This is more or less just a general overview by departments. Law enforcement for 2011, it was $30,203.80. In 2012, $51,838.34, which means that we were plus up by $21,634.54. You've heard the department head report as it relates vacancies open, which means that a lot of that comes from the overtime. You look at the sanitation, 2011, $5,599.23. 2012, $5,471.54, and the variance is a minus $127.69. Looking at the street department, 2011, $16,806.84. For 2012, $11,927.26, and the variance is a minus $4,879.59. And then when you look at the total for this 7-month period, looking back, comparison 2011 to 2012, for 2011 the total is $52,609.87, and for this year, this time period, $69,237.14, which means a plus of $16,627.27. And if you would please turn with me to the last page, the 7-month budget review. The intermobile from October of 2000 through August of 2012, the city of Warren paid in $525,134.92. Saying that to say that through the highway department, the city of Warren was reimbursed $284,134.91, which means that the net investment has been $241,000 and a penny. We also talked about the shooting range, The mayor gave us a very good update as it related where we were with the shooting range, with the Game and Fish Commission. And that pretty much ends the report from the Ways and Means as it relates to 7-month budget review. If you have any questions, I will try to answer. And if I cannot, I will refer you to the administration that does the day-to-day operation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Under 9, you have Planning Commission, you have the minutes of your meeting.
No question? Okay. I did good?
Understood.
You did very well.
Okay.
Did very well, thank you much. Aviation Commission, no meeting. You got the water and sewer. Under Recreation, let's see, this here. We still working with the, can't think of it, Rusty Dinsmore, who's trying to get a soccer league. He's got 105 children, I think, signed up.
105, that's wonderful.
That's terrific.
Need another coach.
Really?
Yeah. Anybody want to volunteer?
How about you?
We had the meeting Saturday at the culture center. Votech Center.
Are you coaching?
Yeah.
Good.
Sad to say.
You know anything about soccer?
You know what the thing about it is? They brought some people in that kind of tell you the rules and go over everything. But all I told them is it's all about competition to me.
Trial and error.
Under Housing Authority, you got, they had no meeting. Under Cultural Center, if you'll look on that, the reason we're paying a lot of bills on the Cultural Center is we split the insurance and any mechanical problems like Adams Plumbing and Barnett Electric, we share it 50-50. So even though no one used it on behalf of the city, we get to pay for half of the program. 10, unfinished business. I'm not ready to present anything on that yet. I understand there might be another name or two that could possibly be put on it. So I need to have a discussion with some of the folks that want to do this so we can get this put to bed and get it done. Item 11's call, which is public statements. I believe we've had them all. Under new business, there's nothing under new business. Any announcements? Need a motion to pay the bill.
I move that we pay the bills.
Second. Motion and second to pay the bills. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your hand. See, 5-4, 6-4. The meeting is going to be Monday the 8th. Is Monday the 8th of October a holiday?
Oh, that's only for federal people.
We'll meet on Monday the 8th unless the city council deems otherwise.
Is that a holiday for the city?
It's a holiday for a city, so we better meet the 9th on Tuesday the 9th. Sorry about that.
No, it's not.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. The meeting's going to be on the 9th. All those in favor stand. There you go.